We are Venom.
I hate restream, man. Bloody hell. I thought I would just go straight into the next thing.
No.
No,
Oh,
hello, everybody. Welcome to MJ Comix. I'm your host, James Mack. And tonight I'm joined by my very good friend, Jason Parker from Jason Parker Comics. Thank you for joining us, buddy.
hi guys. Thanks for having me, buddy. Thanks for having
That's
me.
right. Did you like the We Are Venom?
I did like that bit.
That was me.
Right. And it sort of went to another slide by mistake. And I think if you hadn't have said anything, you might have got away with it.
Yeah, yeah. And as well, can everybody else see us at the bottom, but during the intro? Because that was, or was that just us?
I don't know actually.
I don't know. I don't know. But no, thank you everybody for joining us this evening. We, myself and Jason, have both been out to the cinema today to go and watch Venom 3 The Last Dance. And so today we're going to run through what we thought of it. So beware, there will be spoilers. We're not holding back, are we, to be fair, are we, Jason?
No, certainly not holding back at all.
No.
And what I love about this is that we've both seen the movie on the same day.
Yep.
Plus, we have not discussed the movie at all with each other. So whatever comes out of our mouths for both of us will be a complete surprise.
Yeah, 100%. We've not even remotely talked about it, and I'm really excited to see what Jason thought, and I presume you're gonna you're gonna be excited to hear what I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's I mean, I don't know. I'm a big, massive fan of Venom anyway. I don't know about yourself, Jason, but it the I really looked forward to seeing the very first Venom movie, and I was a little let down by it, and then I was probably a bit let down by the second one.
Yeah.
So I kind of went into this movie with my expectations quite low. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I'd seen the trailer. I thought the trailer looked a bit silly. Certainly the first trailer, and I just thought, right, okay, I'm invested now. I've seen 1 and 2. I have to see 3.
Yeah.
So again, expectations at a very low bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, buddy. Just quickly jump in the chat just to say hello to everybody watching. We have Jason Parker Comics. We have Gemma Mack. Thank you very much for joining us. We have Darth Lopez in the chat. Darth, thank you very much for joining us, buddy. Our inability to finish cost us the game at West Ham. We'll wait for streaming to watch this movie. A fair play. Darth Lopez is a Manchester United supporter, and they obviously lost 2-1 today. So thanks for bringing that up, buddy.
Yeah, against West Ham, yeah.
We have EML012. Thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. We have Amanda Holloway. Thank you very much for joining us. We have Sammy Jane, and we have Derek joining us. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. So we might as well just get straight into it, Jason. But what I want to do is I just want to give a shout out to you, Jason, because you are one of my closest friends, I would say, and I just want to thank you for coming on tonight to talk about this with me.
Thank you, man.
And I hope for anybody watching who isn't aware of Jason Parker Comics, Jason Parker Comics is probably one of the best YouTube channels for unboxing comics. Genuinely, for unboxing, mate.
Yeah.
That I've ever had the pleasure of watching.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. I've only done 3 videos in about 12 months.
I know.
So I've got a very low work rate, low work ethic, So I need to up my game. However, I am now. To do this live, I've had to reset all my equipment.
Yeah.
So the good news is I'm going to be back on your TVs again. It's very soon.
Hopefully, mate. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And you're more than welcome at any time to come onto this channel. And yeah, so I hope that you get back to doing it. So let's crack on, shall we? Yeah, you ready for this?
Yeah.
So, Jason, what are your thoughts going into this movie?
Okay, yeah. So
forget everything about this film.
Yeah, forget. Yeah, so Venom 1 and 2. Yeah. So what we thought. Oh well, I'm going to be honest. I was disappointed with Venom 1 and 2. The films are 15 rated, yet seem to be tailored for children because there was a lot of silly stuff in there, like silly sense of humor for kids.
Yep.
should make us laugh.
Yep.
So tonally, it was the two movies were very much all over the place, I guess.
Yeah.
What about you? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, like the Venom one out of the two was probably the better movie, but I didn't like. I like certain parts of the humor, but I don't like it to be overly funny. Like the Marvel films, like Thor, Love and Thunder. That was they took that to a whole new level of trying to make that too funny, and it didn't work.
Didn't pay
But
off at all.
but I kind of felt with especially Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I kind of feel like they had a perfect villain in Carnage, and they completely ruined it. It was a bit the story was a bit all over the place. And yeah, I kind of, even though Woody Harrelson was a great Cletus Cassidy, I just thought it could have been a lot better. And I know that people don't perceive to see the Sony movies as anywhere near touching the Marvel stuff.
No. I mean, some of the CGI was a bit ropey in the second one, and perhaps a little bit in the first one at places. That's all I've got to say about that, really.
But what I will say about Venom 3 is I was not remotely interested in watching this film prior to the trailer being released with Knull in it.
Yeah.
And for us comic book fans who know or have read Venom comics, obviously prior to this, Knull is like the god of the symbiotes. He's like he's a godlike being who is beyond like celestial. He's like one of the, his history goes back to well before, the celestials and stuff that he was like born in the darkness and the void, and etc. So he's a huge character that was recently, like 2018. He was created by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman run.
Yeah,
which
fantastic is run from 2018.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Amazing run. I had all the whole run of that book. Those books, I've still got them, I think.
Yeah, I've still got them. So for people watching who may not be aware, so it was Venom issue number 3 from 2018, which is the first appearance of Knull. So that's kind of like a key book, when we talk about characters and stuff like that. But his first cover appearance was also like in issue number 3, but in the third print, or the variant printing, and that's his first cover appearance. And that image there pretty much is what you can't. I will warn everybody, we are going to delve into what's actually in the movie now. So if you haven't watched the movie, you might want to tune out until you have, or appreciate you sticking along. But that image there is pretty much synonymous with what we see in the opening of the movie. Would you say?
Yeah, very much so. Very comic accurate.
Yeah, and he's actually portrayed by Andy Serkis, is it?
I didn't realize that until the very end credits.
Yeah, like what that guy has done some phenomenal what do you call it? Motion capture, is it?
Yeah, mocap. Yeah.
So he did Gollum in Lord of the Rings. He did Caesar in Planet of the Apes. What was the other one that he did recently? It was quite. He's done loads.
Oh, he has done loads. Yeah, he was in.
He's Star Wars. He played
Star Wars.
Snoke, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He's that is what he is known for, and he actually directed the Let There Be Carnage as well, didn't he?
He did. Yeah.
So yeah, great character. So let's just get our thoughts on. What did you think of the opening 5 minutes, Jason?
I really liked it. I got excited, I have to say, because it just reminded me of the comics so much. The way he was sat there on the throne, that image, and waiting for the. Are we allowed to go to spoiler territory now?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So obviously tied up, he needs the codex, doesn't he, to get free. and the symbol of the codex as well. I mean, I've got a Venom comic. I can't remember which one it is now. I think it even may be a variant where it's got that symbol on
Oh yeah, the little
symbiotes. Yeah, I got really excited, mate. I have to say, and immediately, my hopes were raised. Within the first 5-10 minutes of the movie.
yeah. I felt exactly the same. I was watching it. I was like, damn, this looks like it's gonna be. Well, this is gonna be epic. We're straight into comic book lore, Knull, introducing straight away, talking about the codex. For anyone watching who's read the comic books, in the comics, it was Carnage who went about collecting codex to release Knull from Clantar. Is the name of the prison that the symbiotes imprison them in?
Yeah.
And it literally delves straight into that story. And yeah, I was. I'll be honest with you, I was hooked from the beginning, from that very first couple of minutes opening.
Yeah. So did you go on your own or did you go with anyone?
No, so because it was like last minute, I literally went by myself. And what about you? What about you?
Yeah, same. I went completely on my own.
Uh,
Yeah, I did
and
ask Amanda if she wanted to come with me,
oh,
and I think she wasn't, like, after seeing the other Venom film, she wasn't that interested. So, so I went on my own. I had a great time.
yeah, same. I don't think I've been to the cinema by myself a lot. I think I saw the first X-Men by myself on a holiday in Butlins years and years ago. Like it was what a film to go and watch by yourself. By the way, I think I was maybe about 12, maybe. I don't know.
First one as well, X-Men. Yeah,
Yeah, the first one, yeah. But yeah, I went and watched it by myself. The cinema was surprisingly quite full when I went. I went at like a 9:30 showing.
Oh wow, that's good.
Yeah.
The cinema that I was at, it wasn't particularly full, but there were a load of people that came in after the movie started, and they all had their flashlights on their phones.
I hate that.
I hate that. Well, they shouldn't be letting them in.
No, they should not.
Anyway, that's another story for another time.
But yeah, yeah. So I thought that Knull looked awesome.
Yes,
I
the
thought that
hair,
the hair, yeah. The voice. There's even the voice,
Yeah, really good.
And it kind of shows how powerful he is, even though he's still locked up in that prison. He can generate portals to get they're called xenophages. I think they are actually from the comic books.
Right.
In one of the earlier Venom, like in the 90s stories. I seem to remember that, like, those alien looking things from before.
Yeah.
But yeah, they looked pretty cool. And looked pretty damn scary, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Lots of references as well to Lethal Protector, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Which was good. I quite liked.
Just quickly jumping in the chat. So
Yeah.
Derek Gemma said we want more videos, Jason. Derek Newman has said low worth ethic. It sounds like Man United. So you need to pull your finger out, Jason. Daniel underscore has said Venom 3 is pure Marvel slot, to be honest. Will we have a super chat from JSS Brooklyn?
JSS Brooklyn.
JSS Brooklyn, thank you so much. It's good to see you back, buddy. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. He says happy Sunday movie review. Gemma's put good to see you back as well. I know he went away on holiday for a while, and I think in Italy, so I hope he's had a good time. We've got Chad Man. What's up, buddy? Thank you very much for joining us. Derek has said that's exactly the problem, though. Sony pulled us in with the Knull tease in the trailer, knowing full well he wasn't really in it. Yeah, we'll probably get into what we kind of think of, like, the Sonyverse. I think from previous experience with the Sonyverse, we kind of know that they've dropped stuff on us in trailers, and then when we come to watch the movies, specifically with was it Morbius? They teased the Michael Keaton thing. They teased
the poster with
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man on it. There was an Oscorp tower from
and none of that was in the movie.
It was just, honestly, they're terrible, absolutely terrible.
They completely pulled up handstand, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think they're kind of known now for trying to sell tickets early on by obviously lying in trailers, I'm guessing. But Chad Mann says, yeah, he directed Venom 2. Gemma Mac, do the comic book fans prefer the movies to be comic book accurate? Yes. Like there's no harm having like a little bit of a spin off, writing it a bit differently to keep up with current times or whatever, or a bit of or maybe like there's a bit of a twist. But we love, if anything, that Marvel should know, or DC, we love comic accurate, like costumes. Like the costumes are one thing that people need to have.
We've got to get it right, haven't they?
We have Madam in the house. Thank you very much, Madam, for joining us. We appreciate it. Is this movie a must see in theaters or can do on the big screen at home?
We'll answer that later, I think.
I think we will, yeah. Gemma's put he abandoned us and went alone. Yep, excellent point. But yeah, so I kind of feel like the opening with Knull is a bit of a tease. It is a bit of a cock tease, isn't it? To be fair,
got me
draws you in, and then it quickly brings us into where Eddie is at the moment, and it's literally straight from No Way Home, isn't it?
No Way Home. Yeah, the very end credits, wasn't it? Of No Way Home.
Yeah,
which was a nice touch, which I quite liked, to be fair.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit confused. So has Venom left? Did he leave 2 bits of symbiote? Did he leave a bit in like the Marvel universe, and did he leave a bit in?
Yeah, I think so. Because do you remember the General
Strickland?
Strickland. He was saying they're shedding.
Yeah, he called it viral shredding, didn't he? Or something shedding.
So bits just keep dropping off them, which is like an open-ended way of saying that anyone could be Venom and it could crop up anywhere. So it's a bit of a
yeah, and he seems to have a bit of experience like hunting down symbiotes, doesn't he? He knows a lot more about them.
Yeah, and my memory's terrible. Was because it plays the guy Strickland's played by Cheat Walifo, isn't it? Yeah, the guy.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I can't pronounce his name. I wouldn't want to do any.
Was he in the second one or the first one?
He played Baron Mordo, didn't he? In Mordo, sorry, in Doctor Strange, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and this is where I'm getting confused. They're using the same actors, and we'll get into this a bit more later.
Yeah,
but they're using the same actors for different roles in Marvel movies, and
it's getting very confusing. Very confusing.
Yeah, and it was quite interesting what Venom said. Did you notice that?
What?
I'm fed up with all this multiverse.
Shit. I'm fed up with all this multiverse shit.
Yeah,
that was good. To be fair, that was good. And we quickly move on to them deciding that they need to lay low
because they're after the money. They're wanting.
Yeah, because
the murder of the police officer
Patrick Mulligan, played by Stephen Graham, and let's lay low, but let's go to New York, one of probably the most biggest cities in terms of there's going to be so many cameras, CCTV, so many police, etc. It's just
they could have gone up in the mountains. They could have gone to Canada or something, somewhere completely out of the way. Lay low, but let's go to. Well, they end up going to blimmin' Las Vegas, New York. It's just crazy. So
so the whole film is pretty much like their journey on the way to New York until we get to like the final act. And I don't know how it was for you, Jason, but there was a part. Tom Hardy is a very big dog lover. So one of the opening fight sequences was they were like a dog fighting ring, weren't they? Somewhere in Mexico.
Yeah.
And so basically he tries to intervene, being the lethal protector. There's some dogs that are being kept in harsh conditions and stuff like that. And he takes on this gang of dog fighting Mexicans, basically. And I don't know if you I laughed out loud at this line, but so basically the guy goes, they're talking to Tom Hardy, who hasn't revealed that he's Venom yet, and Venom's making he's talking in Tom Hardy's ear, and the guy and Tom Hardy goes, I mean, what would your mother think of you right now?
That's
and he
right.
goes, my mum's dead, and then Venom just goes, oh man, you just made it really awkward.
Yeah. Yes.
And I just like I laughed out
Yeah.
real loud at that, and I was like
Yeah.
the only person in the cinema, only because I've been in situations where people people have turned like that because you disrespect
Without any malice, you've said the wrong thing, and everyone's looking at you,
yeah.
and you're thinking, "How do I get out of this now?"
Yeah, and people do go up like a bottle of pop when it's about such an emotional thing. So that did really make me laugh. And then we get some we get a bit of a cool fight scene where Venom takes them down. They're pretty much they're working really good together, except for they can't get the "we are Venom" thing quite right.
Yeah. Did you find that bit grating a little bit?
What the fight or the
No, the bit where they say "we are Venom."
Yeah, I think that's really because we know from like the second one that they're bonded really well. So them not getting that in the beginning of the film doesn't really make sense considering what happened in the previous film where they separated.
It was in the trailer as well, wasn't it? But the fact that they repeated it like 3 times, it's like trying to hit home. To me, it didn't land very well, that bit there.
No, I agree with that very much, buddy. I feel like it was it's almost like a not a plot point, but they're using that as like we're still getting to know each other, and you know what I mean. But they're very
surprising, isn't it? Because there's been 3 movies, and they say we've been together for a year.
Yeah, I mean, like Tom Hardy. I'm not, no disrespect to Tom Hardy, but it's like 7 years, I think, over these 3 films.
But you can see he's aged. He's really aged.
He's really aged, yeah. So,
and again, not again, there is a moment at the end of the movie where there's a montage, isn't there?
Yeah,
and you see a really young
Tom Hardy,
as Eddie Brock,
and
you look at him now, all dishevelled and grey beard like me, and you're thinking, what's happened in a year? What's happened in a year?
But perhaps having the symbiote inside of you for a year really doesn't help.
No.
Do you find that that Tom Hardy walks like he's constipated?
Well, I thought he shit himself.
Always shit himself. Yeah. He walks literally
he's like almost like I don't know. He's just a big gorilla. He's like you know what I mean? It's like he can't walk normally. A lot like Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
in Roadhouse. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
So we're introduced to a couple of new characters. So we've already mentioned Strickland, who's played by. Do you want to repeat his name?
Yeah, Cheatwell E4.
Yeah,
I think that's.
I think so. I don't know if his first name is released, but Strickland is a character from that Venom run, where there was they basically use part of like the symbiotes to create super soldiers back in Vietnam.
Right. Okay.
And Strickland is one of the army people in that storyline. I don't know if that's a callback to that, but I knew I recognised the name from somewhere.
I recognise the name Strickland. Has that been used in any of the X-Men?
Strickland is the principal from Back to the Future, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, that's right. The bald guy.
The bald guy, yeah. That's how... When I first heard Strickland, I was like, oh. And then I was like, that's not a callback to that. And then I basically Googled Venom Strickland, and it come up with that character. But
right, okay.
Then I remembered it. But yeah, so I thought
in the X-Men movies.
You got somebody?
I wasn't sure if he was used in the X-Men movies actually, and it just seemed to ring a bell with me.
No, the X-Men. You're probably thinking of William Stryker, aren't you?
Stryker, maybe, yeah.
Stryker, yeah. But yeah, I thought he played a good role. I think, to be honest, he probably would do what most people do, but realize what needs to be done.
Yeah.
He's not actually a bad guy.
No. He wants to protect the planet, doesn't he?
Yeah. So I thought he played a really good role, but we were also introduced to Juno Temple. So Juno Temple, probably most famously known for being in Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
She played Dr. Teddy Payne. I don't know what you thought of her character.
Great character. I really liked it. They did a little bit of a backstory to it, didn't they? Very briefly in a dream sequence. And I didn't really get what was going on too much
No,
with
I
it,
didn't.
to be honest with you.
Yeah, with the getting hit by lightning, I did not
Yeah, it felt
understand that.
rushed. Did you feel that?
Yeah,
In fact, throughout the whole of the movie, there was a lot of stuff that just kept jumping from one bit to another very quickly without being able to fully assimilate what's just gone on. And it's almost they were like chucking everything at it to see what sticks, you know?
yeah, and it kind of really made you think that, oh, if they're giving her a bit of backstory, she's got to be quite important to the plot.
Yes. Yeah.
And the same goes as well. I don't know if the woman behind her.
Yeah.
She was literally getting so much camera time when they were in the laboratory, but
Yes.
half the time she wasn't saying anything. It was just
She
showing her
wasn't saying
reaction.
anything. There was
Just
no
showing her.
backstory to her. We didn't really know her name, really. Well, she wasn't
No,
mentioned,
no.
but she was quite integral to the plot.
Yeah, and she. So on IMDb, she's known as a character is called Sadie Christmas. She was wearing like a Christmas
Right.
pin, and everyone and it was like July or something. And she went, "Oh, my mom made it." But she
Yeah.
may be, she may be like a comic book character. I don't know, but I kind of thought like again, when you're watching, you're like, "Oh well, she's gonna." Something about her is integral to the plot because they wouldn't be focusing so long on her.
No, exactly. It was interesting as well that Sadie Christmas and Teddy Payne were working together, but when Teddy Payne was insisting on not hurting the symbiotes,
Oh, she was very much like
she was very much no. Be careful.
she
You know.
hasn't spoken to her mom, speak to your family and stuff like that. She was what
Yeah.
it was quite interesting, like because I think what they were trying to do, or the director was trying to do, is that whole. I'll get back in. I'll get into it now, but basically, they work at Area 51, which I thought was really like I love stuff like that. Like, so when they introduced Area 51. I was really happy about that. And they were showing Juno Temple going to work. They've got Patrick Mulligan captured. They're bringing him to the lab. And the way she drives in and she speaks to the security guard and, all the people. It's all very much like a normal workplace.
Yeah, very much so. In fact, you wouldn't think it was Area 51, really.
No, exactly, yeah. And you kind of like, I don't know if the director was trying to aim at trying to make it to humanize the elements so they're not like seen as like the bad guys.
Yeah. That's it. They weren't like the sinister sort of organization going on behind closed doors. Really, they were. It was quite refreshing to see a different angle. To be fair.
Yeah. And yeah, so I know Juno Temple from Ted Lasso. I think she plays a great character in that as I think it's Kaylee or Keeley. Yeah, she plays that as a great thing. But I kind of like as we mentioned to earlier, her whole backstory was a bit confusing, and I didn't really take to it. But I didn't think there was like an emotional payoff in it because we knew nothing about. Other than her walking on the beach with her brother, like that, you need a bit more emotional thing to be connected to the character.
Were they twins?
Twins, yeah. And she, classic comic book story. She hasn't got the use of her right arm by the seams of it.
No, she was struggling, wasn't she? Yeah,
she's struggling. Yeah. So, obviously that
just scarring down her neck as well.
Scarring, yeah. But so they've captured Patrick Mulligan. It's very much they put a new symbiote. Did they put the new bit of venom into him, or did they put a different
toxin?
Yeah. But they put a new the symbiote that he got versus Carnage, or where at the end of that movie. Didn't they say that it didn't take to him, and they've had to put him in a new one?
Yes, but I didn't know which one it was.
Yeah, so obviously that character is played by Stephen Graham, great British actor.
Haven't you got a photo of him?
I have, yeah,
with yourself, yeah.
with myself. Oh, you know, I don't know. So they're basically talking to him through a glass window. They're trying to ask him about the symbiotes, what they're here for, etc. That I don't know about you, Jason, but this really, really reminded me of Independence Day. Do you know when they talk to the alien in the glass with
Yeah,
Bill Pullman
yeah, and
and
also the film, I think it was Arrival. It was called. Don't know if you've
Arrival?
seen that film.
No, I'm not seen that, but
It's
one, but
a alien movie. Again, behind the glass, and like these tentacles go up onto the screen, onto the glass behind you. Yeah, but I thought that was a good scene, and what was reminiscent as well, the bit where he kind of floated towards them, didn't he, up to the screen, up to
yeah.
the glass, almost like from the film Salem's Lot, with the kid floating in the window. That's all it reminded me of. He just sort of
Oh, okay.
glided in towards you, like, and yeah, but it was. I liked that bit. It's really good.
Yeah, Stephen Graham is a phenomenal British actor. I think
Oh, great.
I've had the pleasure of meeting the guy.
Oh,
I mean, probably one of the only people that I'm slightly taller than, but
you and your
he,
tippy toes.
yeah, he was a true gentleman, and I asked him as soon as I saw him, I was asking him about Venom
So
2.
when was this picture taken?
This was taken 2022, to the back end of 2022.
So he would have finished filming Venom 3 then, wouldn't he?
I don't know if he would have finished filming Venom 3. He did. So he obviously Let There Be Carnage had been out in 2021, I
Yeah.
believe. So
Oh,
he'd
right.
done that, but I was asking him about, because obviously it ended with you kind of still alive. He would not answer anything.
No, you wouldn't. You tried to prize it out of him, did you?
Yeah, but he did talk about. He goes, he was hammed to get into shape. I mean, I don't know if you can see, he's quite hench.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
he's built like a boxer. That guy is. He's like a
yeah.
bulldog, if I'm being honest. And he was talking about to me that he had an upcoming Disney Plus project with. Oh, I think I can't remember the name of the guy, but I think the guy who does Peaky Blinders. So it was like Stephen DeKnight or something.
Oh, right. Okay. He's a
And
producer of a lot of TV programs, I'm sure.
yeah, so he was talking about that. He was getting in shape for that, and I think there was maybe a couple of months or so ago there was a trailer released for that. It's like some boxing thing,
Yeah. Fuzzy
street
said
boxing
he
thing.
was awesome in Snatch.
Oh, it was he Tommy, was he?
Yeah, yeah. Because he
Brilliant.
kept messing up, didn't he? And he was great in it.
Yeah. We'll just quickly jump into the chat to see if anyone has. We got Reston. Reston, thank you very much for joining us, buddy. Really appreciate it. Derek is saying maybe she becomes Dr. Christmas Jones from James Bond.
Yeah. What was that about? Denise Richards, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Darth Lopez says he's definitely waiting for it to stream. Fuzzy, we have Fuzzy in the house. Thank you very much for joining us. That's cool, man. He was awesome in Snatch. He definitely was. Sammy Jane has said, do you prefer Tom Hardy or Topher Grace's Eddie Brock? No, it's definitely Tom Hardy's.
Tom Hardy, yeah. I'm not a big fan of Topher Grace.
I was not a fan of Topher Grace's. Definitely not. Darth Lopez Snatch was dope. Graham and Hardy both worked on Peaky Blinders, and they both played different versions of Capone. Yeah, they have actually. Yeah, actually, he was. Graham was Al Capone in. Was it Boardwalk Empire?
He might have been, actually. I used to love that show, although I'd stopped watching after about 3 seasons.
Yeah, but I thought he was phenomenal. I really enjoyed Toxin. And we'll probably talk a bit later on about how we felt about him. But that was basically a way of introducing the story to the rest of the government or whatever they're called, like the Imperium or something like that, the society.
Yeah.
So that was the way of them finding out that basically that the symbiotes are in hiding from Knull. Because Knull is after the codex to be released from his prison that the symbiotes put him in, basically.
Paint him up, yeah.
So we kind of get on to Tom Hardy and Venom are making their way across from Mexico.
Yeah.
To New York because they want to go and see Lady Liberty.
Yeah.
Great excuse.
They were taking liberties there, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it's a bit of a jump, yeah. So that's the reason why they're going to New York. Eddie wants to clear up his name. Obviously, Patrick Mulligan is not dead.
No, but they don't know that.
They don't know that. So, in essence, the film is Venom is only Venom holds the codex in him because he saved Eddie Brock's life in the first film.
That's right.
So every time that Venom does a full transformation into Venom, the codex can be spotted by these xenophages.
Yeah, it's like a tracking device, isn't it?
Like a tracking device. It's like it lights up and they're pretty quick things as well.
Oh my god! I mean, they could be in another country and they're on them straight away.
Yeah. So that kind of caught in my mind when that was coming across. I was thinking, oh, so we're hardly going to see Venom,
right?
The full, but Venom can still use his tendrils or tentacles, whatever.
Yeah, and his head pops out. So
his head pops out. It's just a full transformation, basically.
Did you initially think, perhaps it's a good way of saving money for the budget?
Saving some money on the CGI, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I didn't notice that too much, to be fair. There was still quite a bit. It's like, did you find that the film jumped quite a bit, mate? Because it felt rushed. I mean, I know we talked about this earlier, but there was a bit. Then all of a sudden, they're on the side of a plane.
Yeah. Well, obviously that was a way of them
getting
getting a bit further, but also
but it felt like different set pieces,
Yeah, it was a way of having to use Venom in its full transformation to be noticed, wasn't it?
And how the plane survived. I mean,
I don't know, especially with the engine being took out. But but that introduces us. So the Venom fights a xenophage on a plane. And it goes into the turbine, and then it gets killed, and it lands on the floor.
It's shredded, basically, doesn't it?
Shredded, yeah. It's shredded, and Reese Ifans, yeah. His family are traveling on the extraterrestrial highway.
That's right, yeah.
To try and get to Area 51 before it gets decommissioned.
And they're hippies, aren't they? They live in a camper van, basically. No, kids don't really want to go. They're dragged along, but his wife is really up for it as well. And they're there just to sort of have fun. And they're vegetarians, I think, aren't they? And
don't allow them to eat chocolate or sugar or anything like that.
Yeah.
But so we're introduced to their family. Again, we talked about this earlier, but obviously we knew that this actor was going to be in the film, but we're all like, hang on a second, he's been used in a previous Sony Spider-Man related. He played Dr. Kurt Connors in Amazing Spider-Man 1 and No Way Home.
Yes.
So why did you have to get this actor?
Why? I know there's a multiverse thing, but he had no connection at all to Dr. Kurt Connors at all.
I know. So,
but his limbs.
They could have got any actors to play that role. For me,
why him?
Yeah, and for me, I felt that this family was introduced as a way because obviously, Eddie Brock eventually meets up with them and travels with them to get to Las Vegas, and I kind of feel like it was to add an emotional arc to Eddie Brock and Venom. Hanging out with a family, doing the right things and being nice, because we don't really get to see that sort of thing.
Human side of him, no.
Yeah,
and Venom makes a comment, doesn't he? He says, "Oh, you're good with the kids. You made a great father or something."
Yeah, and you know, for us comic book fans, we know that in the comics he has a son called Dylan,
Yeah,
Brock,
yeah,
and I kind of feel like the relationship with the child was kind of like a draw to that without having to introduce that character to the story.
yeah.
You
I
know,
was half expecting to say I've got a son, and I haven't seen him for
I
years.
100%. I thought that's what literally was going to happen. I thought he was going to say, "Well, you know, I do have
Yeah,
a son, I've not,"
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And then I thought that maybe Venom was like, "Oh yeah, well I know that."
yeah. But I
Do you know what I
might
mean?
get it out of you, yeah.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen.
No,
No.
no. But it was very much a means to having some sort of vulnerability. I kind of think in the final act where the family happened to be in the big fight without really having to be there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So then,
Oh, you missed the horse scene. Remember?
the horse scene. Yeah. So on their way to get there, but that's in the trailer. Everyone knows about that, don't they? Like, you know.
Horsey.
So in that sense, did the xenophage know where he was because he transformed into a horse, or?
Well, no. I don't know.
Oh no, always
No, because he wasn't connected.
he wasn't
to
connected to he wasn't connected to Brock, was it?
Brock,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. They should have just done that.
Yeah, yeah,
Should have just travelled all the way across America.
yeah.
And that
It would have got spotted.
would never got spotted.
You know, but perhaps wouldn't have made such an interesting movie. Maybe I don't know, but they
No,
would have got away with it.
I would have got away, and I
One
would have got
bit I
away
did-
with it.
One bit I did laugh at, mate, and I have to say this is that, you know, when they were sat around the campfire with the hippie family,
Yeah,
and they handed them the plate of food, and Reese fan says nothing died on
nothing died on that plate.
on that plate, and then Venom just goes hard pass and throws it. And for some reason, I just burst out laughing at that moment. I was the only one that laughed, but I just thought he'd been kind, giving them a dinner, and then all of a sudden, boof!
Yeah. Derek Newman has hit the nail on the head. Hippie
Yeah.
family, Area 51, Las Vegas. We're talking about
Yeah,
independent.
yeah.
I love Independence Day.
Yeah,
You know,
great. Yeah,
so that very much really reminded me of that film.
yeah.
Looks like it looks like a European cast going to see it later tonight. Well,
Yeah, well, yeah, a lot of Brits in it, wasn't there?
but yeah. We're taking over the world if you weren't aware.
The redcoats are coming.
So then, you know, Eddie and the symbiote Venom eventually get to Las Vegas, and of all the people who are there, this for me kind of felt like I thought this was the cringiest thing
There we go.
I've seen.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. So what Mrs. Chan is there, isn't it, from the first two films?
Yeah, in the casino.
She's at the casino. I mean, it was a little bit funny with him, you know, Venom getting addicted to the gambling side of it, you know. But she just happens to be there. They're desperate for money. They've got no money, you know. And then she's like, "Oh, I want to go dancing. I want to dance." I think what annoyed me about the whole thing is the stakes were quite high already with, you know, don't transform fully into Venom.
The world's coming to an end.
The world's coming to end. We got this, you know, Knull is hanging over our heads. We can't. And I don't know if it's the immaturity of Venom or the story. It kind of just feel, for me, I was a bit disappointed in the plot in that sense, because it would have made more sense for you know, Venom to transform fully if he was having to fight or to protect Eddie or protect innocent people, rather than just being a selfish thing of dancing.
Is that because of the title, The Last Dance? Do you think they had to get something in?
Maybe, but
It's awful.
That for me was the weakest part of the film.
Really bad.
But there's another really weak part of the film that I'll get to, but which is on next. But I just thought that was really not needed. I would have much preferred that they'd come across something bad happening, and Venom had to
Dance.
They basically have that discussion of, if we intervene, we've got no choice but me to transform it or give our position away.
And that happened straight away, didn't it? As soon as he
Yeah,
transformed,
soon as he transformed, they danced, and it was just
nothing there.
pathetic. Just pathetic.
Yeah.
So, so obviously, I get captured. Strickland is on the phone to some mysterious person, basically saying, "You need to kill one of the two." So can I have permission to do what I want? Basically, can
Yes,
I kill?
right. Yes.
Yeah,
I
and
want to do this, and I want. Yeah.
the mysterious person says yes.
We don't know who it is. We see them a couple of times, don't we?
We see them a couple of times in the movie. I've watched.
In silhouette form.
Spoiler alert, guys! Watched the whole fucking film, and we still don't know the fuck the person is.
Don't know
What was the point?
I think it probably leaves it open for other Sony Spider-Man related movies, and I think this is going to be the pattern going forward, mate. I think
What do you think? It's so so like I'm trying to think of the word to describe it, but I can't get it out of my mind. But it's so vague that they can just at a later point in the movie go, "Oh, it was this character."
Yeah, because you didn't even get a hint of who it was.
No, but I had
it wouldn't be General Ross, would it?
No, that's it. I mean, yeah, it would have made sense if it was somebody that we knew of, even if it was just a shadow of somebody and they mentioned the name.
Yeah,
but literally,
no idea.
That annoyed me to hell because I'm thinking,
what's the point? What's the point showing them?
What's the point?
Because they're like I say, they're all in silhouette form. Didn't really recognize the voice or anything, and no, again, disappointing. Really, that really
it was annoying. That was so. They have to then decide. The Strickland decides that he's going to kill Eddie Brock.
Yes, to stop the Codex.
To stop the Codex from Knull getting the Codex and being released. But so Venom has been separated from Eddie.
Yeah.
And somehow, I mean, I don't know to this day. I don't know how Venom got out.
I think that Sadie just let him out.
Yeah, did you notice that they made like a little bit of a point of showing? I remember watching the film.
Downstairs, didn't she?
She went downstairs and she was looking. She tapped on the glass, didn't she? Where Venom was. But that again.
Did Venom go in Sadie Christmas, and then came out of her?
Came out of her, yeah.
Yeah.
Just at the point where I think Tom Hardy had actually been shot, hadn't he? Eddie Brock had by Strickland.
But why did she do that? This is a plot hole. Why? I mean, because she was quite keen on saving the planet and killing one of them, either Brock or Venom.
Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And I know they made a point earlier on in the movie when they showed her taking her shoes off and put like she had pink laces.
Yeah, and that shot focused on it, didn't it?
They really focused on it, and I don't know if we're supposed to be paying attention there in that moment or whatever. But I know I only noticed later on in the film that because the whole thing about the shoes in this film is that Eddie keeps losing his shoes, don't they?
Yeah, and he moans about the quality.
They really focus on the shoes.
Yeah.
Like he had Crocs in the beginning.
Yeah.
Then he was wearing like
the Jesus sandals, was it? He had.
Oh, no, he had like those snakes, cowboy boots, and then he had like the sandals given by Thingy.
Yeah.
And then he had the nice shiny black shoes, and he was really upset when he lost them.
Lost the shoes, yeah. There's a lot of emphasis on the shoes.
And then it was what was really strange was, in that final act, he's wearing those. I don't know if you saw it, but when he's walking out, he's wearing those pink lace shoes.
Oh, pink lace! No, I didn't notice that.
So maybe that was, but when I don't know when and how he got them.
Well, why focus on them as well? I mean, what's the significance of them?
I think the only thing I can think of, right, is that they've shown that. So like you said, that she was a bit conflicted. So she would have seen that he didn't have any shoes, so she gave him hers. Her spare shoes,
right? Okay,
and then she went and got Venom, and then I genuinely don't know. That was the only. Feet. Yeah, well, yeah, she's got the right size feet as I don't know how tall Tom Hardy is, but I presume he's probably about 5'10". But yeah, so that was that. So we're pretty much now into we're in the final act of the movie, aren't we, by now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Venom gets reunited with Eddie Brock. That immediately sets the xenophage on there at that location.
And at this point now, are there two, or was there still the one?
No, it's just the one at the moment still.
Right.
And so then Toxin gets involved, takes on the xenophage, which I thought was pretty cool. He was telling Venom to get out.
Unexpected.
Venom is basically saying, you know, we need to release the symbiotes to fight the xenophage because it's pretty much invincible, isn't it?
Yeah. Because it doesn't matter how you kill it and shred it and cut its head off, it just glues back together again.
Just grows back together.
Yeah.
So it's very much the final fight of the whole thing. The family that we've come across in the movie, they're at Area 51 because they've come to go sightseeing. They decide to go all brave and actually infiltrate the facility.
Yeah. And then they make the comment, you know, finally they've been there. There's nothing there. It's all dead.
Yeah, there's no aliens.
And they say there's no such thing as aliens.
Yeah.
And then a load of aliens burst out of a wall, and then they're just fighting in this huge.
Yeah. So in the meantime, they release all the symbiotes and they start attaching to various, like the security guard we saw at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
This Sadie Christmas.
Yeah. There was a couple others as well, wasn't there?
A couple of other people. They're not really big parts in the film.
No.
And then we get a whole host of different coloured symbiotes, which is pretty cool.
What did you think of the different symbiotes when they were attached to the different hosts? What did you think of the characters?
What do you mean? Like,
because there were different shapes and different like styles and everything.
I thought it was all right.
I liked it. I liked it.
It reminded me very much of like the separation anxiety storyline from back in the 90s, where you got all the different symbiotes.
Yeah.
That made sense to me. It was an important part of the plot because the symbiotes don't want Knull being released. They've imprisoned him in.
That's right. They're going to be dead as well, aren't they? So they got to protect themselves as well.
Yeah. So you know, it becomes this whole big fight to fight the xenophage. The xenophage, man, just it's a horrific way to die, isn't it? It's brutal. Yeah. You literally get
swallowed, and then blood just sprays out the back, doesn't it?
Yeah, man. So it's not even eating to like eat.
No,
it's like eating to like kill, isn't it? Like, you know, it doesn't. Oh yeah, horrific, man. Absolutely horrific. So we're in the final act of the film. They are fighting the xenophage. It is killing symbiotes left, right, and center.
Yeah.
And the only one that really seems to actually be doing anything is that Sadie Christmas character.
Yeah.
Her one is
great character. It looks like it reminded me of Spider-Man's the
Iron Spider.
Iron Spider, yeah.
Yeah, she got all the like these tendrils and daggers coming out, hasn't she? Like, I mean, she pretty much fights them single-handedly.
She does a good job.
She did a good job, yeah. Meanwhile, Venom's trying to escape. He's trying to protect the family. That's the, you know, the vulnerable stakes at that moment in time. He's trying to protect them, get them out. Strickland gets impaled. He gets mortally wounded, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, Knull sends more xenophages, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because the xenophage calls home.
That's what happens, doesn't it? Yeah, they said that E.T.'s phoned home or whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thought to be honest, I thought the final act was pretty good.
Yeah, it was exciting.
It was like proper popcorn movie, cinema experience.
Yeah. It looked like there were some practical stunts that were being done, mixed with a lot of CGI and stuff.
Tom Hardy loves riding a motorbike, though, doesn't he?
He's got to have a motorbike.
He's probably got in his contract. He's got to have it in his contract.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I kind of felt like as well, so they come to the conclusion that Eddie Brock gets wounded, doesn't he? And they retreat into a helicopter. They're literally like the last,
Yeah.
they're the last, because they're the last symbiote standing.
Well, no, it wasn't. Well, Sadie Christmas. That was that. I think that was Lasher. Was she? Was she still going?
No, I think the
That's right.
symbiote got ripped from her, and the symbiote got eaten by
Got
the
eaten. That's
xenophage.
right.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
survived.
Yeah.
And so Eddie's like got a really bad wound in the helicopter where he's having like his final moments with Venom,
He was
and
bleeding out, wasn't
he
he?
was bleeding out. And do you think for 1 second, right? And correct me if you think I'm wrong. Do you think Venom was contemplating letting Eddie die?
Yeah. That
Because
initially I thought that. Yes.
I was thinking he's having a final
He's
chat
the one
with
that's
him here.
injured,
Because
and there's that realization that, like I say, they keep coming back. They're
yeah,
not going to go away. Let Eddie die because
yeah,
he's dying,
yeah,
and he's going to go off and find a new host. Self-preservation.
yeah. That's what I thought. Because I thought that's what they were really focusing on, the wound and it not being healed and him just bleeding out. So I thought in that moment that the
Going.
Venom symbiote was thinking, should I let Venom die? But then obviously he heals Eddie and
Yeah.
basically sacrifices himself.
Yes.
He absorbs, I don't know, what was it, like 5 or 6 xenophages?
Yeah. Yeah. They're
Like
all.
they've been struggling to fight these things, and he
Yeah. He
like
spread himself all over them, really, isn't
spread
he?
himself all
Dragging
over them, and he drags them to like an acid chamber, which we do see at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, that was like some foreshadowing there. I knew
Yeah, it was.
that was
Yeah,
going to come into play at some point.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That they were basically showing that's how they would decommission Area 51 by just destroying everything by acid, weren't they? On the
yeah. That's
yeah,
right. Just destroy it like an acid bath. Yeah,
yeah. So he sacrifices himself with an acid bath,
yeah,
killing obviously the xenophages,
yeah,
and it kills Venom.
yeah,
Strickland takes himself out nobly to initiate the bath,
yeah,
leaving a massive explosion of acid flying everywhere.
yeah.
Juno Temples.
It was
Got,
agony, wasn't it? She became agony, I think.
I don't know. I presume so.
Yeah, and she's super fast.
Yeah. So basically, like the Flash version of
Yeah,
Venom.
she's taken a vial, hasn't she?
Yeah.
And bearing in mind, she's like partially disabled as well, isn't she?
Yeah.
As soon as she crushes it, the symbiote goes into her, and her hand starts to heal, doesn't it? And you can see all the scarring going.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, she transforms. She's got this lovely long hair, and
Yeah.
then boosh goes and picks up Sadie
Yeah.
Christmas.
Saves her.
Saves her.
Eddie's protected because Venom gets like a little
Like a door or
He gets a
something.
door to protect to protect Eddie Brock. Says his goodbyes, and says that please remember me.
Yeah.
All that emotional, very emotional. To be fair,
Yeah,
very emotional.
yeah.
And then it's kind of like the end of the movie. Then, except we see Eddie in New York. He walks to the Statue of Liberty and he says, "I'll always remember you, buddy."
Yeah.
And then that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, the main movie.
The main movie, until we get to the end of the movie where there's two post credit scene, mid credit scene, and a post credit scene. And what were your thoughts on those?
Disappointing.
What on those post credit scenes?
Well, the last one.
Oh, the last one,
The mid one.
The mid
I
one
thought,
was
that's great because again, you see more of Knull.
Yeah,
You
so
see a
we
close-up
see.
shot of his face.
So we see. This is from the trailer, but
Yeah,
we see Knull's actual face, and he basically says, "The champion is dead.
yeah.
I'm
coming for you.
I'm coming. The King in Black is coming."
King in Black is coming. Yes, yeah.
Oh,
Great.
great. So we kind of get for this movie. We get
This is something like Nothing's Gonna Save You Now or something like that. No?
yeah,
Come
yeah,
on.
pretty much that. Yeah, I still don't know how he's going to get released, but
No.
but yeah, he's very much on the revenge for coming to Earth now by the looks of it. So, Jason, what did you? Let's get off. How to get off that? What was it? Boo. What did you think of Kelly Marcel's directing debut?
I thought she did a good job. It's her first directorial debut. I didn't realise that she'd done the writing for 1 and 2 as well.
Yeah,
Done the screenplay.
Yeah. So this is her first role as director of a movie, and it's not like a low budget movie, No,
it's probably a lot of pressure on her, isn't it? She's British, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was an actress. I think she started off as an actress for a while. She was on things like The Bill and stuff like that.
So she's got writing credits for 50 Shades of Grey, because that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Venom 1 and 2, and also Venom 3. She's
and Saving Mr. Banks, which
was actually a really good movie.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
Yeah, really good.
Very emotional movie that was, actually, because it was about the story of Mary Poppins. Just randomly,
and Disney taking over it, and
it's not about. It's about, isn't it about saving the dad?
Yes,
the whole story, because it's quite a sad story, that is. But yeah, I thought she did all right. I kind of think, like, again, there's a few disappointing parts in the movie where I don't think it worked out, like the dance, and what is
choppy. To me, it felt very choppy. It's like jumping from one thing to the next, and in a way, it's good that there's a sort of fast pace to the movie. It didn't feel like there was a lot of downtime, apart from that stupid dance.
That was ridiculous.
You put everyone at risk by doing that, just so you can have a bloody dance.
That was ridiculous.
Wow.
That was pretty unforgivable for me. But Jason, what do you think the critics thought?
They don't like movies like this, do they, mate? They never do.
No. So, Rotten Tomatoes, critics 36% currently. Popcorn meter 79%.
That's higher than I thought, to be fair.
What, for the popcorn meter or for
the... Yeah.
So, okay, all right. So, I won't ask for your definitive opinion yet. But the top critics here, they have said, it's pretty... I mean, when I went through it, it was like 16, 17. So, I don't know how it got 36% for the critics. Right. Don't know how that quite works, but...
No.
Though the concept of itself is running out of gas, it would be nice to free up Hardy to do other things. It's a fitting send-off, because there was, like you said, there was a montage of all the films, wasn't there?
There was, yeah.
But which
is quite nice, I thought.
It was nice, because it has been a quite a long time.
Yeah.
We got Later Night Comics is listening on the drive to work. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us, buddy.
We got Comic Ronald Reagan 4000 who says the dance was the best part.
Oh, really?
A word for me, man.
Well, yeah, each their own, buddy. But
no. So, Jason, do you think this is the last time we're going to see Tom Hardy as Venom?
100%.
Do you think that was a send off? And
I think so. Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't have separated them otherwise. It just frees up now for another actor to take over. He's done 3 movies. That's what tends to happen. And they have a trilogy and move on. But it's certainly not the last we'll see of Knull or Venom. But it just gives the opportunity to someone else to do it.
Right. Now. So when you go to Wikipedia and you look at the plot, that very last scene where it's the bartender walking out of Area 51, seeing it completely leveled, and he's like, what the hell's been going on?
Yeah.
You see a cockroach.
Yeah.
Because they allude to cockroaches surviving, etc.
Yeah.
So on the Wikipedia plot, they're saying that it's a symbiote cockroach, in a black symbiote cockroach.
Right.
I mean, I saw that I did not have a clue that that was a symbiote cockroach. I just thought it was a cockroach going
Well,
next to the wire.
I thought it was a cockroach, just because wasn't it leftover of Juno Temple's.
Yeah, that's what it
Right.
looked like. It was left over from that, but
Yeah.
they're saying that they make this whole point in the movie about it being the black symbiote, the one that Knull's after.
Oh shit!
So
Right.
they're all pretty much got different colours, haven't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah, quite distinctive.
It's quite distinctive, and I did not realise that was a black cockroach.
No, I didn't.
So is that their way of saying that the Venom symbiote has survived in that universe?
Or at least a shred of it has.
A shred of it, yeah. And
But then they picked up another bit. What is it with this barman? Right? Apparently he's in Ted Lasso as well.
oh yeah, he plays. He's he's like the striker.
But he's had quite a lot of bloody airtime. This barman, and I haven't got a clue who he is. He's changed his hairstyle a couple of times.
Yeah, but it's for the multiverse aspect, wasn't it? But
yeah, but he seems to be in all these end credit sequences. What's the relevance of him turning up all the time?
I don't know.
Why show him? Why show him coming out?
I think it's just because he was in Ted Lasso, wasn't he? So,
mate, I'll be honest with you. I was hoping, right, with Eddie Brock going to New York, he was going to see Spider-Man or something like that.
oh, of course, yeah. That's what
I wanted to see.
That was the tease. That's
what I wanted to see. We didn't get it.
So, to Jason Parker Comics, what was your overall score for the movie?
Out of 5?
Yeah, out of 5, yeah.
Okay. Right, I'm going to tell you. For me, it was the best Venom movie.
Without a shadow of a doubt, for me, I thought exactly the same.
Out of the 3, it was the best movie. It still got a lot of mind-numbingly awful bits in it. Cringy stuff.
Yeah. Not as much as the previous films.
Not as much, but again, when they were singing, we didn't touch on this earlier, when they're all singing.
Oh, ground control to Major Tom.
Just went on a bit too long.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Ground control to Major Tom.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to give it, are you ready? I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5.
Oh, I swear, right?
No way.
That's exactly 3.5. Right, okay, hold on, wait. I haven't typed anything. I don't know how I can share this. Share screen. Notes. Can you say that? Overall, I actually enjoyed most parts of it. It's a 3.5. Good cinema experience.
3.5 out of 5 you got.
Yeah. Hold on.
That's exactly how I have it, mate.
Yeah. Everyone can see Comic Tom interview, Comics with Bueller, Crashdown review. Well, how do I stop that now? Stop screen sharing.
Stop sharing.
But yeah.
Wow. Yeah. There we are. So what are your thoughts overall?
I thought, again, I think because I had such low expectations going in, I genuinely enjoyed going to watch it. There was parts where, like, we've gone through in this where you can pick holes in it, but as a cinema experience, it was good.
Yeah,
it was good. I enjoyed the final act. I even though it was a tease, the Knull stuff wants me to. I want more of that.
Yeah, comic accurate. I can't believe that Donny Cates didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, because he did that. I don't know if it was a tweet or on Instagram. He was basically after the teaser trailer dropped. He was like, "No one's informed me about this."
Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not, because it does say special thanks, doesn't it, at the end in the credits to Ryan Stegman, Donny Cates. It mentions Clayton Crane even, and Ron Lim, a few other artists. So.
Does it mention Ron Lim though? Because of his work with Venom, or did mention like the big ugly guy alien with the stones, didn't they, at the beginning? If you remember.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if that was
purple alien with the stones.
That's it, purple alien. But Derek has said, as a standalone movie, it was fine, but as a conclusion of a trilogy long arc, it falls way too short. I agree with that.
Yeah, I get that.
But again, going into it low expectations, I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah,
I really, someone asked earlier in the, is it worth going to watch this at the cinema or watch it at home? Both. It
Both.
depends. For me, going to the cinema is an experience, and
It's the sound,
the
the
sound.
images.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a whole different experience. I find going to the cinema. So
A lot more immersive, isn't it?
yeah,
In the
I
cinema.
enjoyed it, and I actually genuinely felt probably for the first time a bit of an emotional connection between Eddie Brock and
Yeah.
the symbiote in the end.
Yeah. It took 7 years and 3 movies, but
Yes.
it hit at the end, didn't it?
Yeah. But Jordo said the song was long, but he dug the heart to heart they had in the van. Yeah,
Yes.
that was the emotional arc I felt
Yeah.
that was the whole point of throwing that family in there.
Yeah. No, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
But no, overall 3.5 for me. I enjoyed it. But the big question is, Jason, the big question is, what does this mean for Spider-Man 4, which I believe starts filming next July and is out? It's slated for a release date in 2026, and the Sony verse in general. What do you think?
So, right. So, Spider-Man 4, is this going to be another Marvel Studios movie under the guise of a Sony movie?
I don't know, mate. I genuinely don't know. I presume
I don't
so.
think
I
they
think
can use
if
like
it's
Venom,
got
can
Tom
they?
Holland in it, it is a Marvel Studios /
Yeah,
Sony movie.
because
It's got to
Sony
be.
got the rights to Venom, and I don't, because Venom's never been mentioned in the MCU at all,
No.
and neither has any other sort of side characters of Spider-Man in the Sony
Well,
movies.
technically, yeah. I mean, No Way Home, is that an MCU movie? It is.
It is, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
but
the Tom Hardy scene was in that at the end. And you also had them talk about an alien made out of black goo.
yeah, they did, and wouldn't
Uh,
it be great to see a black suit Spider-Man again?
oh, mate, what?
I'd love that.
I would look. I would see. I think I almost thought in this film, and one can dream. And I almost thought in this film that they were going to make it to New York, and it was going to be the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Oh, he's your favourite, isn't he?
Yeah, that would have been, and I think it would have been an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and it would maybe have been after he'd lost Gwen, and
Oh God.
he would have been full of hate.
Yeah, so not the one where he's finally at peace and
Yeah, not the one. Yeah, maybe I don't know,
yeah,
or
oh
you never know. That would have been so cool.
yeah, no. I mean, it does leave it wide open, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah,
Anything can happen. I just hope that Spider-Man 4 doesn't sort of go back like to some characters that we've already seen and established. I want to see some new villains.
what villain would you like to see?
Oh, mate.
Mr. Negative.
Because he's in the games, isn't
He's
he?
in the
Yeah,
game. He's
I
great in the
think
games.
great. Yeah, great character.
Yeah. There's the chameleon, the
Hydro
kingpin,
Man, proper Hydro Man, not the
Hydra Man. Yeah.
Mysterio version.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chameleon. Yeah,
Black Cat.
that would be good, wouldn't it? Seeing
Oh,
Black Cat.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, mate, yeah. I mean, anything. Let's face it, anything can happen. I don't think anyone knows really what's coming. Well, some people know, but what would you
James
like
is
to
always
see?
dreaming for Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I am. He was my favourite Spider-Man.
Yeah, yeah, it's great.
Now, what do
I
I
have
think?
to say, have you seen on TikTok Andrew Garfield talking with Elmo?
Oh, mate, it's
And
heartbreaking.
mate, if you haven't cried at that, you don't have a soul.
It was when he asked him, he goes, Elmo goes, is Mr. Andrew okay? And
Andrew?
Andrew Garfield goes something like, well, if you want to talk about it or something like that, I can't, like, but almost insinuate you don't have to talk about it because
No, no.
it's going to get Oh my god, that was.
I got so emotional saying about losing his mum. My mum recently passed away, and I've been thinking about her. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god! And the way Andrew Garfield speaks is so soft and gentle, and he's with Elmo and he's saying, "I love you, Elmo." I'm like, oh my god!
And he goes, "You were my mommy's favorite." Oh my
Yeah,
god.
oh, don't mate. I don't. He's a real.
Gemma's like, why is Andrew Garfield on like every TikTok video at the moment? Because he's just released a film, hasn't
Oh,
he?
mate, it's. I was crying my eyes out at that.
We have to convert him to a Raimi Spider-Man fan. I mean, I grew up with the Raimi films, Sam Raimi films, but I just felt Tobey Maguire for me. I thought he was an awkward Spider-Man. I thought that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I thought, well, first of all, the suit in Amazing Spider-Man 2 is still the best Spider-Man suit I've seen on screen. That is like the proper color, the proper way it looks, the big eyes.
Yeah.
And just the way that Garfield is a lot more. I find him a lot more emotive in the suit compared to the others.
Yes, yeah.
And he's more quippy and funny because that's what the only thing that let Andrew Garfield down is his Peter Parker was too cool for school, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, and maybe a little bit too old to play a teenager. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I think he was like 27 maybe when he was cast. Like, this is ridiculous, isn't it?
But drawing his pension.
Yeah, but Tobey Maguire was probably about 30, mate.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, no, I kind of feel like with Sony at the moment, they're making movies like Madam Web, Craven, Morbius. I kind of feel like they're doing it so that they, and I don't know if this is true or not. I read somewhere online that they're doing it so they can keep hold of like the IP.
It's true. Yeah, the license. Otherwise, they lose it. Yeah, if they don't use it, they lose it, and they have to hand it back over to Marvel. So they've got to keep churning out these movies. Otherwise, it's gone.
It's a bit like that with wasn't it with Hulk with Universal? Was it because they had the rights to?
Yeah. Now,
the Hulk.
I'm always confused with Hulk because I don't really know who owns him.
No, I don't. It's in a bit of like no man's land, I think, because people would quite like maybe a Hulk standalone movie again.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, the Ang Lee one, I enjoyed it at the time.
Yeah.
I thought it was a comic book accurate looking.
It was the first proper Hulk movie, wasn't it?
Yeah. And even the Ed Norton one, The Incredible Hulk, I thought the action in that against Abomination was good. I actually quite liked Ed Norton as Bruce Banner.
Yeah. I thought he was good.
But yeah, I kind of we've got Craven the Hunter coming. I think it's either December, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I know people aren't too sure about it. The bits I've seen, it looks interesting.
Yeah, but
again, I don't know if it's very comic accurate, from storylines.
Yeah,
seems very detached from it, but he looks great. He looks great.
Oh yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson's a phenomenal actor, and he does look the part as Craven. But I just kind of feel like, did we really want a Craven movie? But surely Sony should realize that we want these Spider-Man characters are nothing without Spider-Man.
Yeah,
even Venom.
And here's another actor that was Quicksilver.
Yeah.
In MCU. And he was also Kick-Ass.
Yeah. Kick-Ass. I love those films.
Great films.
Mark Strong as the bad guy in the first one was brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. And that scene where he gets taken out by the rocket launcher, brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And just goes flying.
Going out the window. Oh, it's quality. Yeah. Absolutely quality. No, so I just hope that they, we see Knull again somehow, whether that be Spider-Man or another Venom project, I don't know. It would be good to see that, and I hope that Spider-Man 4 does well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been doing this for an hour and 20 minutes, guys.
Wow, longer than I thought.
Yeah, definitely longer than it.
We added that out, didn't we? To be fair.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, No, but thank you everybody for watching. I've really enjoyed talking to you about this, Jason. You have always, as always, buddy, are a fantastic guest.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. And thank you very much for inviting me on.
No, it's
And
all right,
not
bud.
losing faith in me, about releasing some more content, because you are one of my biggest advocates, and I really appreciate all the support you give me.
Well, I
And
can't.
sometimes I get into a lull, and I need people like you just to keep me going.
No, I appreciate, buddy. I've said this many a times. Like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel.
Don't need to stop me crying again.
No, that's right. Wouldn't be here today talking about Venom 3. Wouldn't be, I'm really, really, like, since the start of the year, I've really got back into YouTube and trying to make a real good go of it. The channel's become monetized. I've met some really interesting people like doing this now.
Yeah.
Like, I've had some really good interviews with people that I totally respect, and formed like these friendships with, and I'm really enjoying it. And to be able to still do this with you is great. I really appreciate it.
Hey, let's go to the chat.
Yep. See, restream is awful because it does not tell me like on StreamYard that it's a super chat. It's like it displays it really weird.
All right.
But
look at that.
Mike Cecilia, thank you very much, so much for that super chat. I really appreciate it. MJ and Jason Parker Comics missed the show, but will catch the replay. Wanted to stop in and show some support. Haven't seen Venom 3, but I'm guessing at least a partial ticket refund is in order. To be fair, buddy, if you go and see this, I genuinely think you won't. If you go in with low expectations, you won't.
Don't go hyped up expecting amazing film.
And I think if you appreciate the Donny Cates stuff and do like the Venom character, you will get something away from it. Reston has mentioned about to be fair, before the film started today, the Craven trailer was on.
I saw the Craven trailer.
I saw the full Rhino shot. Yeah, it's better than the mechanized one from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
To be fair. Derek Newman, 30-year-olds playing teenagers. It's like Beverly Hills 90210.
Yeah, that's right.
Gemma saying, thank you, Mike, and good to see you. Take care. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Mike, we said it was a 3.5. Both of us unanimously agreed. Good day from Korea. Thank you very much.
Hey, Late Night Comics. Thank you for joining us.
This is more emotional than the van scene. Cue the sad music. Really appreciate it. No, we will stop it there, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Jason, you've been great. And we will see you guys next time. I'll play this outro video and hopefully the stream ends properly. But we'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.
Bye. Guys.
Thanks for watching. Bye.